At Riverside University, a freshman named Laura experienced strange occurrences that started when she moved into her dorm room in 2013. It began subtly, the lights flickering, items mysteriously being moved, and the sound of footsteps in the middle of the night. Laura initially shrugged these off as the stress of adjusting to college life. However, one night, she returned to her room to find it unusually cold, even though the heating was on full blast. Then, she saw footprints on the floor, muddy and fresh, leading from the door to her bed. When she asked her roommate about the footsteps, she was met with confusion. But the most disturbing event occurred when she returned to the room to find her belongings tossed around the room as if someone had gone through them. That night, a strange voice called her name in the dark, but no one was there. As it turned out, her room had once been the site of a tragic suicide, and many students had reported similar eerie experiences in the past. Laura was eventually forced to move out, but she never fully escaped the unsettling memories of her haunted dorm. Edgar Hall at University of Louisiana is known for its vast library. But what most students don't know is that the building is haunted by the spirit of a former librarian named Cynthia, who died in the 1920s under mysterious circumstances. In 2015, a student named Ben stayed late at the library, studying for finals. As the hours grew late, he began to notice the strange chill in the air and the occasional sound of pages turning. Thinking it was the wind or his imagination, he dismissed it until he heard a distinct whisper from behind the shelves, calling his name. Startled, he stood up and walked through the aisles of books, only to feel like he was being followed. His heart raced as the whispers grew louder, and he turned around to see a shadowy figure standing at the end of the row, dressed in old-fashioned librarian attire. Ben ran out of the library in a panic, and later found out that other students had experienced similar ghostly encounters. The spirit of Cynthia had not rested, and she still roams the aisles of the library, forever organizing books in the afterlife. The courtyard of Ashland College has always been a popular spot for students to relax between classes. However, in 2009, a student named Jesse had an encounter that would forever change his perception of the school. One evening, after a long day of classes, Jesse walked through the campus courtyard and approached the small, reflecting pond, which was known to be a serene place to unwind. But as he peered into the pond's surface, he noticed something off. His reflection didn't match his movements. His figures seemed to lag behind, and there was a faint, distorted version of himself that seemed to smirk at him from within the water. When Jesse turned around, he found no one in sight, and the air suddenly grew cold. As he looked back into the water, the distorted reflection seemed to mimic him with malicious intent. Panicked, Jesse ran back to his dorm, and later learned that the courtyard had been the site of a tragic drowning years ago. The drowned student's spirit was believed to haunt the water, trapping anyone who looked into it with a reflection that was not their own.